What is up, my fellow Chibits? Hopefully all of you are having a very good day today, because a new chapter of Boku no Hero Academia Vigilante is out. So, I gotta talk about it first thing. I gotta talk about the quirk called soccer. I'm not even joking. If somehow you stumbled upon this video and you clicked on it just because you like Boku no Hero and you haven't even read the spinoff, yes, you heard that right. Apparently, there is a quirk literally titled Soccer, and it has to do with soccer. It's good. That is good. That's good. That is funny. That's funny. Like, I feel bad for a man that got a quirk called soccer. Like, that would suck. That would suck. Because just like, okay, number one, if you like soccer, then I guess it's a good quirk. But the big thing here is just like, a quirk can literally be anything. You can actually completely agree with that statement. A quirk literally can be anything now, because soccer. Quirk title, soccer. Dribbling a ball. Like, okay, so, just getting into it, though, I just, in a way, I'm fascinated. I would love to know more about the quirk called soccer. I know many might not care, but I would love to know how it works. I would love to know the details of how that quirk works, because it sounds so stupid. But it sounds so stupid that it would probably be really interesting. I mean, it might be in a similar state as, like, Luffy. You know, Luffy, he's rubber and all that. So, when you think about it, Luffy's, overall Devil Fruit ability is very stupid when you think about it. On paper and all that, and from One Piece, just he's rubber. Well, maybe something like soccer could be something very interesting as well and fascinating, just we don't really know. I'm really curious if we'll ever get more details on that, or if that was just there for just joke-wise in the first place. Regardless, though, let's get into the, Boku no Hero Academia Vigilante, chapter. So, this chapter, basically, we get to see the public opinion of our main three characters. We get to see how the public eye views them for their work, their hero work, the unlicensed heroes, if they are viewed in a good light or a bad light. In a lot of ways, what we see in this chapter and how they're viewed is something we kind of all have been thinking ourselves. I mean, when it comes to, the Crawler, our MC, he is creepy. His overall quirk and the way he's on the ground and all that, and he's like, just surfing on the ground, it is very creepy. I mean, if you saw something like that skidding around the floor and all that, you'd probably be scared of it. And then, when you see Pop Step, let's just be real here, when you see Pop Step, you don't see her because she's an idol or whatever, or her powers, you see her because of that. The booty. Just face the facts here, okay? That's really why, okay? That's why people like Pop Step. That's why people look at her, and when she's bouncing on top of things, they get to see that. So just let's be real here. That's what you've all been thinking. I mean, I admit, so just let's admit that, okay? Let's be, civilized adults here and admit that. Then when it comes to Knuckle Duster, well, everybody's public opinion of him, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the man's very aggressive. This man gets in a fist fight with anyone, he'll beat the crap out of you. So just when you think about it, Knuckle Duster being viewed as a very scary old man that you don't want to mess with and he'll beat you up, I guess that's to be expected. So overall, the public opinion of the three, it's everything that we kind of already knew. It was nothing we didn't expect whatsoever. I was actually kind of surprised with how honest everybody was when it came to Pop Step, or at the very least the writer was with Pop Step, and the reason why probably everybody likes her is not because of her ability, it's not because she's been saving people, it's because of her looks. It's just, yeah. So, I find that very funny how the writer was very honest in that regard. Anyways, though, there is something very interesting that pops up that I do want to discuss, and it has a very nice message to the series. The reason why many things happen, why heroes rose up and all that, and what drove them to be so well known or recognized, and why, this girl is wanting to research the, look into, the hero laws and stuff, and why, the vigilantes are, a dying breed of heroes from an old era, or whatever. Basically, she states that the reason why heroes are like they are, why they are so high up and recognized or whatever, and why the laws came into place in the first place, and what really shaped things, was popularity. And that is very interesting when you think about it, because this is a theme that has played in the main series of Boku no Hero Academia, popularity. And let me explain the details of what I'm getting at. All Might obviously is the #1 hero in Japan. And we've known this, it's even stated in the spinoff. We already know this. And then we have Endeavor in second place, so forth, so on. We go further and further. But basically, there is a popularity poll in, Japan. And there's like a #1 hero, second place hero, third place hero, so forth. It goes down lower and lower. And in this case, you have it to where popularity has always been a big thing. They have a lot of, fans, and they have a lot of weight in terms of what they can do and their overall, pull on society. For instance, let's look at, All Might. All Might as a person in, Japan, he is someone that has fueled the golden age of heroes. He has made it to where villains are no longer running rampant like they once were. He has shut down all of the evil, like the big top evil villains, and forced them into hiding. Any ones that are still left, he's forced them into hiding. He has made a golden age. It's an age of heroes. It is an age of almost peace. And in this case, it's thanks to All Might. But also, All Might's overall personality, him being as a role model, has shaped society. Him being #1 and how he acts, now people view him, many fall in line and want to be like All Might, which we see from the main series. We have Izuku, Bakugo, we have Todoroki, and that's just to name 3, and that's not counting all the others that have been inspired by other heroes. And so just to state it right there, popularity does matter. Viewpoints on how heroes are viewed does matter, because that makes it to where people will not want to look up to you, be like you, and in turn, the fame of you will spread, and then villains will hear about you, and then maybe, in turn, you'll have it to where crime rate will go down. And so that's basically what was being shown here, the popularity of heroes. And so seeing, our main cast of characters and getting to see how they're viewed by society, it makes a lot of sense. They have a long way to go. #1, let's look at each individual. Let's look at, the Crawler. The Crawler, they can't even get his name right. They call him the Hauler. They've been messing up this man's name since the very beginning when the spinoff first began, and I feel very bad for him, but that just goes to show that even when it comes to society, even if you want a certain hero name, you're not going to get that name. It's kind of like this, okay? Like, let's say you look like a devil, okay? Let's just take Daredevil, for example, okay? You look like, Mini Devil and all that, but you want to call yourself the Red Suit or something. You want to call yourself Red Suit. Well, even though you want to call yourself Red Suit, people, if they're wanting to call you the Daredevil, and that sticks, it's gonna stick. You have no other say on that. You can't deny that name anymore, because that is your hero name. And so in a way, when you look at the names they're being given right now, that probably is going to stick with them. It probably will stick, because that's just how society is. When you get a name for something and it's chosen by, the public, it usually sticks. And so since he's being called the Hauler, he probably eventually is going to need to embrace the fact that his name is now going to be the Hauler, or he's going to do something so inspiring that many are going to recognize him as the Crawler. And then we have Popstep, which her name is already known, but her impression from the public is not like a hero. They're not viewing her like a hero. They're viewing her more like eye candy than anything else. And then when you go to, our old man Knuckle Duster, well, they're not viewing him like a hero. They're viewing him like just a savage old man that wants to pick a fight and beat you up. That's not what a hero should be viewed as. So when you look at these, 3, they have a long way to go when it comes to how the public views them. They don't have a lot of popularity, and the popularity they do have is not necessarily good. Now, any publicity is good publicity in a way. That's the old saying. But even then, though, since they're trying to be heroes and they're trying to get out there, this type of, viewpoint of how people view them is not necessarily good. It's a start, but they need to work on it. Now, getting back into the, popularity and stuff of heroes, I want to get into the main theme here that I noticed has been very relevant in both series. Now, besides what I said with All Might and how he has shaped society and all that, and how other heroes have done so as well, let's think about what has happened in our real-life society, okay? You're probably wondering what I'm talking about, so I'm going to clarify. Think about the character polls that has popped out for the series. There's been 2 character polls? I think there's been 2 character polls for Boku no Hero Academia. And these character polls, obviously, are popularity contests. That's what it is. It's a popularity contest to determine who is the fan favorite character of Boku no Hero Academia. Now, obviously, Boku no Hero Academia, Vigilante, it hasn't had a character popularity poll, because there's obviously not enough characters. It hasn't been going on long enough to have one. So getting back into the main series, though, Boku no Hero Academia, it has had, at the very least, 2 popularity polls. And if we go by the logic of the latest chapter of the spinoff, this also represents how far they are when it becomes to them becoming the #1 hero. For instance, whoever's #1 on the popularity poll, like the character popularity poll for our series, determines who is number one, who is the one that is causing many to look at them and cause it to where many want to be like them, or they're inspired by this character or by this person. And that is how you can view these character popularity polls that, Horikoshi has added to the series, which is very interesting. It's very fascinating when you think about it, that something in real life that is done by the writer is actually relevant to the main story. So I find that very cool. I wonder if anyone else thought like I did when it came to that, the character popularity poll, in reference, it's basically saying who will have the most influence later on down the road, or who has the most influence right now. So, getting off of that, let's talk about the girl that was, getting her research for vigilantes. So, she has a polygraph quirk, which is pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful for her line of work, since she's someone that likes to do research, and since she lives in, a cop family, obviously, she having this type of quirk actually helps her out quite a bit. And so, her quirk is very powerful and scary, because if she is, in there trying to interrogate someone or whatever, she could probably get an answer out of you like that because of how her quirk works. Think about it like this, okay? Let's say Stain was thrown into custody, okay? Which we do know in the main series he was. But basically, let's say they didn't know who Stain was, okay? They had a theory that he was like a killer or something, okay? Or they had a theory that he was hero killer Stain. And so they got him into custody, and then they were questioning him and all that, and then he was basically lying, saying he wasn't Stain or whatever, which I highly doubt Stain would deny that, but I'm just getting to the point if this happened, okay? Let's say Stain is in custody, he has the cops coming in interrogating him, she comes in, grabs his hand, reads him and all that. She could figure out if he's lying or not, or who he is. And so in this case, that quirk she has is very powerful. She can easily interrogate someone and understand who they are and get lies out of them or truths out of them. She will know. And so that is really cool when you think about how her ability works. She is definitely powerful in her line of work and probably very useful. She's probably used a lot when it comes to probably investigating criminals when they're brought in to be questioned. I could definitely see her being used quite a bit. Now, besides that, we also have to factor in that she is someone that clearly is going to be very similar to how All Might's relationship is with the police investigator. Also, I like the fact that her ability does have a fatal weakness as well. Even though it's powerful, it does have a weakness, and we found out about it in this chapter. Apparently, the crawler, he doesn't recognize the Holler name. He doesn't go by that name. He does not acknowledge that name. And so even though she has a quirk called Polygraph, it has its own weaknesses, because she asked him, "Are you the Holler?" And obviously he said no. And in a way you look at it, he is the Holler, but he doesn't go by that name, so he automatically denied that name. And so in turn, her quirk had a false positive, and it basically said, oh, I guess you are telling the truth. I guess you aren't the Holler. But in reality, if she would have asked for his real name, the Crawler, that would have went off, and basically he would have been caught right there. So that right there, I like that. I like how there is an obvious flaw with her, quirk, because if someone's able to tamper with memories or whatever, basically, her quirk wouldn't work at all. And so if someone's able to manipulate memories or make someone forget something or whatever, she would not be able to understand what's going on or, who they really are. She couldn't get truthful questions out of them. Also, I do like the fact that she didn't uncover, the Crawler's secret, because it would have felt very stereotypical for a hero story. She knows his secret, and then she's holding him by, the collar, basically telling what he needs to do or whatever. I'm glad that she didn't discover his secret like that. It's going to take some time for her to figure it out. That makes me very happy in terms of just story and character-wise in general. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about the latest chapter of the spinoff? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Please be honest in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you like my content, please subscribe, and if you want to support me for I could continue to focus on YouTube, please go in the description and support me on Patreon. It helps me out a lot. So I love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.